Kia ora, g'day fellow classmates, back again for another series of Where Are You Now? Now, the next fella needs no introduction really. Once you see his face, you'll instantly recognize him, the mighty man. We had a couple from Danny Verk, and this is one of them. He's done phenomenally well, and it's my pleasure to reintroduce to you Mr. Brendan O'Sullivan. Boz, how are you?
Oh, thanks, Huge. I'm really good, and it's great to hear some of the stories and just see some of the names on the emails. And I'm really looking forward to catching up down there. Hopefully, lots of you guys can come. And it's one of those things that you do think about. There's such a big part of your life, Silver Stream, and it would be great to connect with as many as possible.
That's awesome, boy. I must say, you are looking very sharp. You look like a bit of a model there, Boz.
I don't know about that, Huge. I've got a bit of a motor, that's for sure. It's just tucked safely under the table here. So life's been pretty generous in terms of food stakes as well.
Good on you. You look wonderful. Mate, we were very close at school. We spent a lot of time together, as you did, of course, yourself being a boarder. Let's start off with the questions, and guys, I'd love to know what you've been up to. But look, just reintroduce yourself recap your time at Stream, how many years you were there, where you came from, and do you remember your first bay up in Redwood when you were first coming and boarding?
Yeah, I do, Huge. I came from, my father had a couple of small farms down just out of Dannyverk, so I was brought up in a small town, and so it was a big deal going down to Silver Stream, close, attached to a bigger city. I definitely remember walking in and running into Brother Bede, welcomed us, and he called me Boz. I'm going to call you Boz, and that nickname stuck. And I was in Redwood. I had Greg Shorty. He was to the right of me, and I definitely remember him. He used to enjoy playing a few tricks on some of our fellow boarders, and that was a great time. I definitely remember it was a bit like the military when we first turned up as a boarder. Had us getting up early in the morning, running. I've got definite remembers of the mass caning. And I'll never forget, we were lining up because I think someone had spoken after night prayers and they sent us all down. And I do remember writing an essay, and they said, has anyone spoken? And we all had to line up. Basically, everyone except for about 6 guys had spoken something. And I never forget poor old Andy Logue. He was in front of me, and you hear the whips. But brother, I was just asking for a pencil or a rubber, and he goes, just bend over, load you. And but anyway, it was sort of like a transition in terms of getting us fit and into this full-on culture. I really enjoyed Silver Stream. It was pretty strict, but I mean, the people you met and the boys that you got along with, it was fantastic. And I thought Brother Bede was excellent for us, and I have some really, really fond memories there, particularly around the rugby. Huge, like some of the teams, the under 15 rugby team, that was great. I was a bit scrawny, I was a little bit smaller than there, but the boys, big Richard Murphy and Fui and you and Williams and Andy Logue, there's so many great guys. And then the 2A was another really good team. It was first unbeaten team I've been in, and it was Corker and McCarthy and a whole lot of lighter but really good guys. And then of course, in the first 15 later, and they were all great things. And then it was just the range of boys at Silver Stream, from lots of different, with rural backgrounds, a range of economic situations. There were townies, and the rural blokes, and so it was just a really neat mix of people, Huge, and so I think I got a lot out of that. Yeah.
Awesome. What a great recap. Now, Boz, you were a wonderful rugby player at school all throughout. One thing about you is you always punched above your weight. You were a great defender, one of the best second five centres, certainly in our era. And you were bloody awesome, mate. The pairing of you, Draneen, Fui, a fantastic mix.
Fui, yeah.
You had some good teammates too.
Yeah, not to mention yourself. Like it was. I really, and I think a group of boys, they trained and got together, and did a bit of extra stuff, and that was really cool. And I played a bit later with Andrew Blumen down in Otago University where we went. But one thing about Silverstream, there were guys excelling in a lot of different areas. I never forget the public speakers and going along to, yourself and Richard Marthy and your academic guys like the debaters like your Chris Hollands and Greg Byers. There was such a good mix of people that had different skills, and it was a real melting pot, and that's what I got out of that. There was a lot of people good at different things, and it was neat to see them sort of succeed.
Absolutely. Boz, what did you do your first year immediately out of stream?
Right, yeah, so I was all the way to 7th form, and Blues basically said, hey, and Ben Curtin said, mate, you should go down to Otago. And it was Eva Massey Otago, and I went down to Otago, which was a really good move for me. I really enjoyed it. So I did commerce, a Bachelor of Commerce, and then I made enough to a dip grad for another year. But I really enjoyed Otago. We played some really good players down there. Quite a few that played in the New Zealand secondary schools, and a few had gone on to the All Blacks and stuff. And I just considered myself just a keen guy that enjoyed the game, and a lot of really good boys. I'm the David McGuinness and John Leasy. They still had the Silverstream functions there once a year, and the older boys, they might be 4th, 5th year university. They'd bring the younger ones through and would have a get together and would reminisce, and they had a big court session, and that was a lot of fun. So there was still a strong association, and guys like Jeremy Allen. And I still kept in contact. I had a 21st, quite a few guys came down. There was Houdini's and Shorty and down there. So we still kept a bit in contact. But I met a lot of, good new guys, and you just sort of, I did a bit of traveling afterwards to the States, and then I came after university. I worked at our family business. My old boy Hugh had a few plans for me, little did I know. So I had about 18 months there, and then I shot over to London just for a bit of fresh air, and it was a great place. Did a lot of traveling, South America and Africa. I had what I called the Indiana Jones period, where you just
it's awesome.
A lot of up into the mountain gorillas and Uganda and Rwanda, and just really enjoyed these big trips. But I was working at I always knew I'd be involved in commerce. So when I was in London, I chose to work at the British Red Cross at the head office there. And there were some remarkable people there that I got to work with. And it was a big charity down in High Park Corner. And I did that for a few years. One of the highlights there, I got to be in the presence of Nelson Mandela at a function, and he was a remarkable person.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I saw Greg Short over there and various ones, and it was just like a lot of Kiwis. It was a great place to do a lot of traveling in London. And then I think I just felt like I needed to put my roots after about 3 or 4 years there. And then I came back and helped set up, an ITM, part of our family business, just a new store. And that was a good experience. And then since I've gone on and set up a couple of new businesses and helped grow my family business, which was with my older brother John and younger brother Barry. And so I've lived in Hawke's Bay, the old sunny Hawke's Bay, but it's a bit grey today.
Wow.
A bit grey, and but it's I've been here 15 years, and it's been when you run your own business, you have your highs and your lows, and it can be quite challenging when it's not going well, but and very rewarding when it's going well, and you build a good team of good people. And it's and I hear some guys, like I hear the Williams boys have done very well in the bar scene down in Wellington, so I always love hearing about other people's successes, and I hear Andrew Janine's done very well, and you just sort of catch up and you hear things about people, and Andy Logan. I really look forward to hearing a few more stories about what people have been doing.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we're very proud of you, mate. We always knew that you had a family orientated business with Kiwi Lumber and Tumu Timbers. I had the privilege of working with you a little bit at Tumu, at Morakakaho Road in Hastings. We had some good times there.
Yeah.
But look, can you tell us a little bit about your business now? I believe it's called BBI.
Yeah, I've got a couple. That one I founded. So we're in the we wholesale to all the merchants like Mitre 10 placemakers, items around the country. A lot of plywood and decking, and then there's another entity called Eco Fasting Systems. I've got a Taiwanese business partner. Well, he's a Kiwi. He lives in Auckland, but he came out when he's 17, and that's and that does a lot of like all the prenatal plants in the country, and I've done a little bit of property stuff, and just to, I like working with different people. Typically, I have management shareholders that partner with me to, it's good to have a bit of strength with, and you can rely on each other, and you sort of play off each other's strengths. And I enjoy it. It's about working with people you enjoy. And I enjoy. I've done a little bit of development in the industrial sort of building space. Just give things a bit of a go, really. In Hawke's Bay, it's a neat sort of nice family sort of place. But I do head up to Auckland quite a bit and around the country and offshore a little bit, but not obviously with COVID. But I chose Hawke's Bay because of the family sort of base and the lifestyle reasons. And I've got a great wife. I met Jess when I was about 28 at a wedding down south. She was a good lawyer over in London, and we met at a wedding. And I thought I needed to stiffen up my gene pool in terms of maybe the academic side, huge. So, she's pretty bright, and she's a really good sort of community person. She does a lot of sort of charity type work and a lot of community work.
That's wonderful.
And we have a couple of really good kids.
Yeah. Listen, you're always pretty good with the ladies, boss.
You hit. I think it was a very competitive field down there. You had some smooth guys like Andrew Janine and some of those boys. I was probably like in the third 15, working with the first 15 there. So I was a bit of a late starter, but I sort of found my momentum as I went on. Huge. So
good on you. Well, hey, look, Janine was a bit of an anomaly for everybody. He set a pretty high bar. Yeah. Hey, listen, tell us about your kids. Yeah. How many kids do you have, and how old are they?
Yeah, so I have two. Art's 9 years old, and Frances is 10. So a little pair. Frances is very creative. She's quite bright. She's just she's a bit more reserved. Whereas Arthur, my boy, I think he's like my father. He's a bit of an extrovert. He's he loves a bit of showman, and he's really good little sportsman. Actually, I think the last 5 games of the year last year, he scored about 21 tries in 5 games. And he got player of the year. And he's pretty small, but he's quite a handy little sort of guy. And it's one of my pleasures, just watching the kids play sport and seeing them do different things, whether it's football or rugby or skiing. And so, no, I'm probably a bit of a family man nowadays, had a pretty social time in London, but I've really sort of settled down in the last, 10, 15 years and sort of worked pretty hard. It's been family and business and has been the dominant feature. And I'm probably wanting to maybe change tack over the next few years and do a few different things. But life's been, look, you always have a few ups and downs through it, and that was really interesting to hear about Andy Logue. But overall, life's been pretty good to me, and I'm really looking forward to catching up and hearing everyone else's stories. And I think we'll get a little crew together, and really look forward to it, Huge.
Good, we definitely will. Now we're heading towards the end. Memories or off stream itself. Look, is there anything in particular that stands out for you, whether it be something that happened in one of your dormitories, a favorite rugby team, an event, a teacher? Is there anything that really sticks in your mind for yourself?
Oh, there's so many. You know, like some of the boarding stories. Chris Fee was at the centre of a lot of interesting stories and a lot of fun. Yeah, someone I don't even know if I need to go into those, but I'm sure a few of you remember them. For me, Brother Bede, there's an event that happened for me, which was really, I was a bit of a, had a little bit of a tearaway streak at primary school. I had, and then I went to Silverstream, and I remember, I think it was James Henderson, Dougie McGifford, and Little Beast, about the first 6 weeks, and someone managed to get a bottle of bourbon, and we went down to the river, and we drank, and I think James Henderson, I think he had to get carried off in one of the priests in a ute, and I remember, we used to get caned. We used to get caned for talking after night prayers, and I thought, oh, this is not good. I thought this is definitely going to be 6 or something really, really bad. Maybe even suspension, because it was such a strict, as a third former, first 2 months. And anyway, I had Damien Curtis come into during we're studying, and he said, Boz, I'm really sorry. No, it was Dougie McGifford. I think it's Dougie. And he said, Boz, I'm sorry, but I couldn't tell on Beast because he's too small, so I had to tell on you. So I faced up. I went in to see Brother Bede, and he goes, Brendan, you've got a lot of potential. You're good. Your sport, rugby. You're just a good kid, and you could be a prefect. And I thought, oh no, this is going to be bad. But you know what he did? He actually just let me off. He didn't tell anyone else. He let us off. And I thought after that, mate, I've got to, I'm not going to let that guy down again. He gave me a real chance. Besides the normal, usual, a few canes and stuff. But I thought, I'm not going to let that fella down again. And he gave me a real break. And I thought, and so I responded to that. And I think in life, some people make mistakes, and you've got to give them a chance or give people a helping hand up. And often they respond. And he did that for me. Yeah.
That's an amazing story, Boz. I love it. Bro Bede, actually someone who I'm trying to track down for this series.
Mate, fly him up. We'll fly him up. That'd be great.
Yep. Yeah. I'm onto it. But he is someone I think almost everyone has mentioned, father figure to us all. But what a wonderful story that you just told there, and how you've implemented that, I guess, into your life now, as something that was taught to you way back in third form. Awesome.
Yeah. No, looking forward to catching up, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, well done, mate. Listen, thanks for joining us today. You look wonderful. We do look forward to seeing you July 31, and hopefully we get a heap of number from our year there, so we can actually meet in the flesh and have a good catch up then. Brendan O'Sullivan, been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, brother.
Cheers, George.